Hello again. So during the live transmission, I've lost the connection with my guest, and I'm again back. I'm trying to bring my guest speaker again online. So let me see it. Thank you so much for joining. It was a very intense discussion regarding leadership was ongoing, and at that very moment, the network lost, and my guest speaker, Mr. Farookh Sensei, he John C. Maxwell certified trainer, speaker, and coach, and also he's Les Brown certified motivational speaker. He was joining. Let me try to bring him again. Yes, again, there is already guest. There is no guest. So let me see it. Okay, so
hello.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's like that I went on a break.
Okay, welcome back. Maybe there was a rest required.
So I lost my complete track. Okay.
No problem. No problem.
Right. So
you are back. That is important issue.
Where would you like to start? Where would you like to start?
You were talking before you lost. You're talking about the leadership without the title, and leadership is also that's what is the best. Why you need to go to the best people to learn and to teach, and what is the difference between the best and becoming the best version of self. You were explaining the difference, so you can start from there as well. So how do we become best version of ourselves in the leadership journey?
And exactly correct. So if you recall, I stopped at somewhere where I was talking about the term boss. I said that though I don't like the word boss, let's take an example. You have got a team and you are there in the office. So all these people are doing their job because you are influencing them, being there at present. So that's a good leadership. Okay, being in the office, being in presence, they are doing the job. But that is not a great leadership. Now, the great leadership, you need to ask yourself, whoever is there in this forum right now, you need to ask yourself, can I influence people not in my presence, but in my absence? Can I influence people in my absence? That is called leadership. Now, look, I want you to think about the great leaders in your mind. Think about great leaders in your mind, those leaders who are not alive today. Those leaders who are not alive today, those who are passed away maybe 1 year back, 10 years back, 100 years back, maybe 1,000 years back. Think about those leaders and ask yourself, are they still influencing the world? Are they still influencing the world? That is called leadership, my dear friends. Leadership is not being in between and leading. Excuse me. That's not leading. That's not leadership. Leadership is when you lead somebody in your absence. That is leadership. When you're not there. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you have a TV in your house. Okay, or you have a laptop in your house and there are kids in your house. There are kids in your house and they got every channel to watch. They got the freedom for they got the facility to watch every channel. But they come to a pornography channel, they don't watch at that because there is an influence which is coming within them saying that I should not be watching this. That is called influence. I hope you got it. That is an example that I can give you. Okay, they would think that my dad told me not to watch anything which is not good. I should not do that. So now becomes your leadership as a father, as a mother, as a parent. You have given that leadership quality to your kids because your kids are not watching those programs because your influence is still there in them. If you were to be a bad father, if you were to be a bad, though I should not be using the word bad, but for this particular example, if you were to be a bad father or a bad mother or a bad parent, your children will exactly follow you because you have influenced your children. Now, can you influence your kids? Can you influence your team as a good boss, as a bad boss? The answer is yes. Just like a bad parent can influence the children, a good parent can also influence the children. Similarly, a good leader can influence the team. A bad leader can also influence the team. The question is, it's your choice. Leadership is nothing but your choice. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter what rank you hold. you can still be a leader. Let's say that there is somebody in the CEO level, then you got the VP level, then you got the supervisory level, manager level. There could be somebody in the very bottom level, but he can be a very good leader. It's not necessary that you need to be a CEO to be a very good leader. There are CEOs, my dear friends, you need to understand that there are CEOs in the world who are not good leaders. They have the title called CEO. That doesn't mean that they are leader. You may not be having a title, but still you can be a leader. Understand that it is possible because it is your choice. It's your choice how to go, where to go. That is your choice. You need to make the decision. You do not allow the world to say what you have to do and where you have to go. You take the decision. If you can't take the decision, I'll tell you, you can reach anywhere. This is not a motivational speech. This is not a motivational speech because I can't motivate you. I can't motivate you because you have to take bath every single day. Motivation goes off. You switch off this video, after 10 minutes, you'll forget even my name. So I can't motivate you. If you want to reach somewhere, it has to come from within you. That's called inspiration. It has to come from within. It's a spirit. If you have that spirit, my dear brothers and sisters, if you have the spirit, I'll tell you, nobody can challenge you. Nobody can challenge you. All those people who will challenge you will be kicking on a back, not on your friend, because you are the leader, because you can challenge the world. You need to have the guts. Don't look at what is your education. Education doesn't matter. It matters, but it doesn't matter that you can still be a champion. You can still be number one without being the qualified or being that sort of highly educated. Not necessary. Money does not play when it comes to leadership. Title does not play when it comes to leadership. Leadership is all the decisions that you take in your life. That makes you a leader. So tomorrow, if somebody challenges you, understand this, my dear friends. I'm pointing fingers, though it is not permitted to point fingers while you're speaking. I'm definitely pointing this finger because I want this to go straight into your heart. Because normally they say in training, you keep your hands like this. I'm quite sure when you do training, we keep our hands like this. But now I'm pointing you because I know that you need to understand, just go deep into your heart, that nobody can control you. People can influence you, but nobody can control you. You have the complete right to take the decision where you want to go, and remaining you give it to the creator, because the creator who created you and I, the whole universe and anything between them, there's only one creator. So leave the remaining to the creator and do the best. Don't come up with the excuse that I didn't do it because I was old, I didn't do it because that was a rainy day. Let me tell you, it is raining cats and dogs outside. It's raining cats and dogs, but still.
I'm so sorry. Again, it is lost. This is a debacle. This is a battle between. This is a battle. It was really a very intense and wonderful discussion. Mr. Farookh Sensei, he was delivering based on his experience that he has experienced over 14 years of his work in Qatar Airways, and he has been training in 48 different countries, the leadership. And I hope that I can bring him again back. What a wonderful speaker he is. He has deep-rooted knowledge about the leadership skills and abilities, and the difference between the leadership today and the difference between the ideal leadership, and how we can develop our inner leadership for our generations, for our countrymen, for our fellow colleagues, for anyone beside us. So let me try to bring Mr. Farookh again. I hope that he is there. He just shared that there is tremendous amount of rain is happening beside him. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think he would be joining with me anytime soon. He's a very, very powerful speaker. He has tons of experience of delivering the leadership goal across the different world. Why I'm telling leadership goal? Because as per the John C. Maxwell, leadership it has to come from within, and leader who lead from the front, and leader shows the way, and leader he does it, and then he leads people, he develops people to become leader as well. Let me bring my guest again. Okay, I hope that Mr. Farookh, can you watch me again, because I can see that you are not able to watch due to maybe your internet is interrupted there or not. I'm not sure. Can you see me? Those who are just joining with me and watching me live, you also can send me some questions so that Mr. Farookh Sensei can answer as well, And you also can leave me thoughts, your comments about the program and what you want to hear, what kind of speaker, what kind of success stories that you want to bring, that you want to have, and what do you think about this program, bringing all the success stories from across the world. And I'm bringing this, keeping in mind that this can help us to become best version of ourselves. How can we become best of ourselves? It's not a competition. It's a journey. It's a journey that every day we need to perform. It's a journey that every day we need to develop ourselves. Okay, he's back again. Good news is that, okay, just wait a second. I think I can bring him. All right. Yes, it's adding. So joining with me, Mr. Raja Hadar, Mr. Jamaluddin, Mr. Mahbubur Rahman. Mahbub bhai, thank you so much. Istiaq bhai, please stay tuned. I have a fascinating guest who is a double standard John C. Maxwell certified trainer, leadership trainer, who has training experience in 48 countries, who is a Les Brown certified motivational speaker, who is a high school dropout, who is a lazy boy, become an international trainer. Again back, Mr. Farookh Sensei. Yes, you're on fire.
I'm losing my fire now.
No problem. No problem. Because the fire is
Okay.
within. You can't lose.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Great. All right. So going back to ground zero, leadership is all about you. It's a choice that you make in your life, and moving forward. It's all about influencing people, bringing impact in people's life. That's leadership. Leadership has nothing to do with management. Understand that, because most of the people we mistake that leadership and management is leadership and management is the same. It's absolutely not. I'm not a good manager. I'm not a good manager, but I'm a very good leader. I'll tell you. Let me put it that way. I'm not a good manager, but I'm a good leader. Why? Because leaders do the right thing. Leaders do the right thing. Managers do the things right. Two different definitions. So so it's not necessary that you have to be a manager to be a very good leader. Let's take an example of somebody who's not much educated. Okay, it could be a farmer. For example, it could be a farmer, but he knows how to put the seeds, what time he has to harvest, when to give the water, everything. He knows that. He's not managing, he's leading, because he's asking his people, the farmers, are the team of farmers, to put in the right time. And then he could start a company of his own. Put in this way, he has got this farm, then he starts his company. He brings an MBA guy. He brings an MBA guy to work for him, under him, in the factory, to manage the job on a regular basis. Now, what we understand, that the leader, who is the actual farmer, he's not educated, he's not a manager, but he is the leader because he has got the vision, and he brings somebody who's educated under him. So always understand, it is more important to become a leader than a manager. So that's where I can stop. What would be your next question?
I was wondering, you see, in this subcontinent, there is plenty of leaders. Everybody is actual leader. There is, what we see is, practically there is no scarcity of title leadership. If you see that self-claimed leader, the best leader, best person, I'm the best. And you see in the job arena as well, in the corporate, the CEOs, COOs, managers, deputy DCMs, general managers, everybody thinks I am the greatest leader. And yet there is a great scarcity of the true leadership. Why is that? What is really going wrong in the leadership journey?
Very good. The whole example that you gave me right now, the whole example that you gave me, for example, the CEO, COO, etc., the VPs, etc., it's not necessary that they have to be leaders. These are positions. These are positions, because you get a position based on something else. It's not necessary that you get a position based on your leadership quality. Not at all necessary. When you take somebody to a position not based on leadership quality, everything goes down.
Okay. Again dropped. I'm sorry for this technical interruptions. Sometime, and today it looks like I'm struggling with maybe Mr. Farookh Sensei's internet connection is poor. because he says that it's heavy raining outside. Due to that reason, maybe the net connection there, he's struggling. But I'm sure that all of you, those who are watching right now, has got the essence of the true leadership. And yes, I think Mr. Farookh would be back again. Nozul Bhai, I see your question. At the same time, Mr. Fazlur Rahman Rahim, yes, I see your question. Mr. Farookh Sensei is back again. I would let Mr. Farookh to respond to your question. What is the simple rule to be a leader? Is very good question. And where to start for being a true leader? It is another wonderful question. I've taken the question, and Mr. Farookh Sensei, you'd be answering this question for you. I'm hopeful that it shows that he's joining me live right now. All right.
So I'm back again. So going back, going back to the question that you asked me about
organizational leadership,
organizational leaders, because all those examples that you gave me are technically, they are titles. They are titles. It's not necessary that they are leaders. Now you can give a position, for example, a position of a CEO or COO or vice president to somebody who is technically qualified, technically good, with experience, etc. But if he does not have that sort of leadership quality, then it does not work. I'll ask you a question. Now, somebody asked the question. I heard you reading. What makes the simplest way to become a leader? Am I right? That's one of the questions that you read.
Correct. One of the questions from Fazlur Rahim. Yep.
Okay. So thank you very much for asking the question. I'm going to connect that question with my answer right now. If you go to a police station, you respect the police officer. You respect the inspector. Am I right? You respect the inspector. Why do you respect the inspector? It's not the inspector that you're respecting, but you're respecting the grades that he has got, the stars he has got, because you respect the uniform that he's wearing. Am I right? He may be a worse guy, but still you respect him because there's a fear factor inside you. Why do you respect your CEO? Why do you respect your vice president? Why do you respect your managers? It is the fear factor which is there inside you. Let me tell you, my dear friends, those who are working in organization, let me tell you one thing. People around the world, once again repeat, people around the world, they leave the job. They leave the comfort of the job, not because of the job, not because of the job, not because of the company, not because of the payment, not because of the scale they get. They leave the job just because of the manager they report to. People leave company because of people, not because of the organization, not because of the organization, because the person who you are reporting to, he might be senior to you in the position, but not in leadership. If he were to be a very good leader, let me tell you, you would still continue with the company because you will do it for the sake of him. If the founder of the company, if the president of the company, if the chairman of the company, if the CEO of the company is a person who comes down to the level of a normal labor and go and tell how is your family, I'll tell you, you'll start loving that person. That is called leadership. Leadership is nothing, very simply in a layman's language, leadership is nothing other than influencing people. If you can influence people, let me tell you, you are a leader. You are a leader. Throw off all those titles. Throw the titles. The titles are only for signing the contract. No, when it comes to leadership, leadership is all about connecting with the heart. If you can connect with the heart, then you become a leader. When you connect people with your mind, that is management. That's management. You're connecting people you're looking at somebody and saying that, what is the benefit that I would get if I'm connecting this person? That means you're not thinking like a leader. A leader is a person who connects with the heart first, before he shakes his hand. That's leader. He connects with the heart before he connects with the hand. That's leadership. Very, very simple as that. Now, when you talk about leader, a leader does not work. A leader does not work. Now, you must be thinking, what does that mean? Leader does not work. No, he does not work on a weekend. And he does not work on weekdays either. Because every single day he wakes up and he does what he loves to do. And that is to connect with people. That is called leadership. Let me tell you, those who are working the organization, who are watching this, who are there in this platform, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, if your bed is pulling you down, if it is pulling you down on a weekdays, let me tell you, it's time for you to rethink and get out from the job that you're doing right now, because that's not connecting with your heart. If it is connecting with your heart, I'll tell you, it will never allow you to sleep. I wake up very early in the morning. I wake up around about 3:30. I sleep sometimes at 12 o'clock, but I wake up at 4 o'clock. I know that's not good. I'm not good in my health control when it comes to sleeping, but I wake up early in the morning. Why do I wake up? Because my passion does not allow me to sleep. My bed kicks me off. It says, come on, get up, Farookh. I don't get sleep because I love to change people's life. I come here, I sit here in my office at 7 o'clock. I do my interview with international participants around the world. I do that. Why should I do? I don't get even a single penny paid. Why? But because that's connected with my heart. If I were to think from the monetary side, I would say, no, I'm not getting money. Then why should I sit in the morning? Why should I take an interview? Why should I do all those things? No. It's all about passion. If you don't have passion, leadership is about passion. If you don't have the passion to take care of people, then I'll tell you, you're not a leader. The very simple answer, if you can influence people, if you can connect people, if you connect the dot, and if you can do it for the people, for the sake of the people, then you are a leader. A leader is somebody who lifts his team up before he gets up. Once again, repeat, a leader is a true person who lifts his team up so that he goes up. Because in most of the cases, what happens in the organization is that I won't train my team members because I have that sort of scarcity inside me, the fear inside me. What is fear? Fear is a fake emotion that appears real. That's its F-E-A-R, fake emotion that appears real. Because I think that if I train this guy, he's going to take over my place. But you are a fool. You are a fool because you need to understand that when your team members take your seat, there is another seat about that. If there is no seat about that, then look for a new organization, look for a new company and go, because now you've got the experience of bringing somebody to your level. Understand that, because you are a leader. If there is no position in the company, it doesn't matter, my dear friend, because you've got the experience now. You got the experience because you have mastered the experience. It's not that how many years you worked, but you put that into practice. You made somebody leader and you brought him to your seat. Now you are not qualified to sit in the seat. So get up and go to a seat which is higher than you. If there is no vacancy, give your paper and go and do something else. Or you create leaders. You create leaders, because when you go to a formal school, they teach you how to get a job. When you go to a formal school, they teach you how to get a job. But when you go to life, when you learn from your experience, you can create jobs. And that is what leadership is all about. Creating people, creating leaders, creating your legacy. Tomorrow, you and I won't be there. You and I won't be there. But the thing is that once you look back, there should be somebody who should say that 20 years back, my sensei, my teacher, my so-and-so taught me. That's why I'm here today in this level. That's called leadership. Leadership is all about legacy. There are 21 laws when it comes to leadership. And the 21st law, the last law, is all about legacy.
Great. And the connecting question to that is where to start for being a true leader. That is asked by Mr. Nazrul Islam.
Okay.
Where to start?
Good. Where to start? Where to start? Where
Yep.
to start? Where to start? Start
for
right
being,
away.
For being a
Start
true
right
leader.
away. True leader, start right away. Right away, if you can say that from today onwards, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to take my life the place that I want to take. You become a leader. Very simple as that. You don't have to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, my dear friend. Got to start today. You're with me?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So that's it. So you don't have to start for tomorrow. You have to start today. Now, one thing. It's always nice. It's always nice and always advisable that you must, I don't use the word should, but I would say must. You must have a coach. You must have a coach. Because a coach, a mentor, a friend, he can help you to become the leader that you want to. You need to look for people. There's an English proverb. If you tell me who you are, if you tell me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. So if you give me a list of your friends, I'll tell you whether you are in a leadership role or not. Because if your friends are all in the lower level, I'll tell you, no, you're not in the leadership level. Because everything depends upon the 5 people that you are surrounded with. Now, if I talk about myself, now you might be saying, I can see some comments saying that Farookh is on fire. I think that was Nasreen from South Africa. She's right now in Turkey. Now, she's an author. I thank you very much for taking her time and being in here. Now, let me give you an example. Now, looking at me, you might feel that I'm on fire, but the fact is, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert. I like to be all by myself. I like to be all by myself. But once I'm on stage, once I'm in that zone, I'm the king. And that's exactly what you have to think about yourself. You need to build confidence. Now, this is something you need to know. This is called courage. This is called courage. You need to have courage to take the first step. If you take the first step many times, that's called consistency. Many times if you take the same step, you get to something new that is called confidence. A leader is a person with consistency, competency, clarity, and he has got the courage. He has got also the confidence. That is a leader. That's a leadership. If you go to my book, I have given you all the qualities of a leader. How you can become a leader. Very simple. The very first thing is you need to influence people. You need to have a clarity that is where are you going in your life. If you don't have clarity, it's just like you drift from one place to another like a paper boat. You need to have that clarity where you want to go in life. Let me give you an example. If you got the best car in the world, the best car with the best engine, with the best driver, everything is good. The road is very smooth road. You got everything. But I'll tell you, you won't be able to drive that car on a foggy day. Why? Because there is no clarity. The same thing happens in life. It doesn't matter you're educated. It doesn't matter you're healthy. It doesn't matter you got financially good wealth. It doesn't matter you got a good family. It doesn't matter. All those doesn't matter if you don't have clarity where you want to reach in your life. That is called clarity. That's called the fog. You need to, my dear friends, you got to remove the fog from front of you. That is clarity. If you remove that, and if your vision is clear, I'll tell you, you can reach anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. When the people say that you can't go and you can't conquer Himalayas, the Tansen and Hillary in 1951, they said that we are going to do that. 1951 they failed. 1952 they failed. 1953 they achieved by climbing on the topmost point on earth. Why? Because they were very clear. They were very clear. They saw themselves being there. So you have to see yourself. My third book, which is going to be very soon released in a week time. If you go to that book, it tells you very clearly that how you see yourself there and look back. It's a technique, what we say, that start with end in mind. The seven habits by Stephen Covey. Start with end in mind. So you got to see yourself where you are. If you can't see yourself where you are, I'll tell you, you are still sleeping. Get up. Get up and fight. Get out of the bed, because the bed is pulling you down. It's making you so lazy. Get up from the bed and ask yourself, where is that you want to reach? In my office here, there is my vision, there is my mission. Everything is written on my wall. Why? Because it is to remind me. It is just to remind me where you're going. Because sometimes in life, you lose your track. You lose your track. Clarity is very important, because whether you are a leader, a business leader, whether you're a politician, whether you're a political leader, spiritual leader, whatever it is, whether your father, whether your mother, whoever you are, you need to have clarity. A clarity about your kids. Now that's one thing that people say, I want to make my daughter a doctor, or my son a doctor, or an engineer. Why? Because they have got the clarity. Now the question is, should you become a doctor based on your father? The answer is no. No. When people come to me saying that I want my son to become a doctor, but he is not listening to me, what should I do? I say, you get out, bring your son to me. You got it? Why? Because you should not, at this particular occasion, you should ask the child what is that he wants to be, because we are talking about clarity. Because if you block the clarity, now very good example is Susie. I believe Susie was the one you interviewed a couple of days back, if I'm right. Hassan.
Yep.
Am I right? She's a doctor, medical doctor. I know somebody who's a medical doctor, but the passion was not to be a doctor. The passion was something else. So you need to, that is called clarity. If you're talking to your kids, ask them where is that they want to go. That's clarity. If you block the clarity, the mistake goes to the parents, because they detour the kids. They detour the kids and take them to somewhere else where they like to go. So what is happening? Automatically, you are crushing the child. You're crushing the child in such a way that they will not go, or they will not be what they want to be. I got two daughters. My elder daughter has just done her MBA. She is not a public speaker. She is not into martial arts. I never asked her to be a public speaker, or I never asked her to be a trainer. I never asked her to be into martial arts. But today, now she is without me telling her. Without me telling her, she is now learning all those things. That is called clarity. It has to come from the heart, my dear friend. It has to come from my heart. So anything, anyone, if it comes from your heart, do it. Now, if you take the same example into your team, let's say you've got 5 people in your team. 5 people in your team. Don't ask somebody to do a particular job. You as a leader, you should know what is the strength of your team member. You should know what is the strength of your team member. Let's say one of your team members is good at website designing. The other person is technically good. Give him the technical job, because he likes to do that. Give the other guy the job of web designing. Give him the job. Don't give something else which is contradicting with their interests. You as a leader, you need to know what is that your team is all about. You need to break those barriers. It's called the transparent door. Keep the doors open. Let them come, let them talk to you, because they need your help. Just like you need somebody's help, they need your help. So as a leader, go and help them. That is leader.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fascinating. So I remember you said like the leadership role is sometimes lonely, because when you
Yeah,
become a leader, you become lonely as well. Why is
yeah.
that? And how do you handle
Okay,
that loneliness? Like
okay,
you
very
become a
good.
leader, and how do you handle it?
Okay, I did say that, and that is one of the laws which comes. It comes in the leadership gold in John Maxwell's book. Now, if you're lonely, let me rephrase it. If you're lonely, that means you're not a good leader. If you're lonely, you're not a good leader. Let's say this is a mountain. Let's say this is a mountain, and you are on top of the mountain. If you are on the top of the mountain and your team members are not there with you, that means you are lonely. You and your cloud. You cannot. Your friends are only the clouds. It's really boring out there. That means
Hmm.
it's a wrong leadership. When you climb up, make sure that your team is also climbing up with you. You are along with breeze there. Your team is also with you. That
Hmm.
is called leadership. Leadership is not climbing the mountain by yourself. Leadership is climbing the mountain as a team together. Together. Not pushing your team. Not pushing your team. And not pulling as well. Not pulling them. You are keeping your hands together with your team, asking their opinions, asking for brainstorming ideas, thoughts, process, etc., and then going together. Sometimes, now this is something which I really like to emphasize. Sometimes there could be a goal. There could be a goal which may not be very much connected to me, but my team as a combined, they like to achieve that goal. You have to go to that goal. Why? Because it's a team effort. It's a team effort. You need to support the goal, though you may not be you may not be in alliance to that goal, but still you have to do, because now you're looking from the team, not as an individual. That is what I mean to say that when you go up, it should not be you alone. It should be the entire team with you. That is called leadership.
Great. So what do you see that the you're creating impact through your leadership journey in the next 15, 20 years? What is your vision of leadership?
My vision of leadership is very simple. If I'm talking about the general leadership, what is happening around the world, people get the title, they use or they misuse the title as leaders. They misuse it, especially when you go to politics and all those things, they misuse it. If it is a true leader, if it's a true leader, he would be down to earth. That is true leadership. True leader is someone who influences people even in his absence. That's true leader. Very simple as that. If you can do that, and if everybody can do that, that is called leadership. Otherwise, it's just a title. They're using it as a title. And in fact, it's not a title at all, because you can lead a country. You can lead a country without a title. Let me tell you, you don't require a title to lead a country. There are people, let me give an example. There are people who give food to the poor, the needy ones, even without anybody knowing. They don't have any tag with them. They're not into politics, anything, but they do something from their heart. That is called leadership. Leadership is all about doing and connecting people from the heart. That is leadership. Very simple. If you want to know how good you are a leader, I don't have to see you. Want to know how good you are a leader? I don't have to see you. I just have to see your people. If I see your people, I'll tell you how good leader you are. If I get into an office, let's take an example. I get into an office and I don't get a smile from the customer service agent in the front desk. Right? Know that she is not smiling or he's not smiling. I'm not being paid attention. The leader is also at the same time. If the leader is somebody who takes care of his customer, definitely it will cascade to down. Even the line boy, even the cleaner would also smile at me. That's called leadership. Leadership is not something that you have to keep with you. Leadership is something that you need to share with your team members so that they follow exactly what you're doing. You do not take examples. Let me tell you, my dear friends, you don't take examples of leaders. Don't talk about Mahatma Gandhi. Don't talk about Nelson Mandela. Don't talk about anybody else. Talk about you. If you can talk, if you have got the guts to talk about you and say that my kids look at me and they do what I want, that is leadership. I'll give an example of my daughter. My daughter says that, Dad, I want a husband. My younger daughter, she's an MBBS medical student. She says that, Dad, I want a husband exactly like you. That is called leadership. When your kids say that I want a husband like the father, that is called leadership, because you have become an example for your kids. That is called leadership. You don't have to show anybody else. You don't have to point fingers on anybody else to say that you need to have a leader like them. Be a leader yourself. You become the leader. You become the example. That's it. You can't change the world. I can't change the world. It's stupid. I can't change the world. But you can change your world. You can change your world. And your world starts from you, your family, within the family, the neighbors around you. That's how it starts. Very simple. I can't change the world, but I can sit. The thing that I know is to speak. I know one thing, that the weapon that I have with me is to speak with people, to influence people, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. If you are watching me after 10 minutes, and still if you're watching me, though it broke away 2 or 3 times, that means very simply, my dear friends, I have influenced you. That's it. I influence you. That's why you're sitting and listening to whatever I'm saying, even if it's a crap. You're listening to me. Why? Because I have influence. That is simple. So when should you start your leadership? Call this start right now. Right now. That this is the best time. The best time was 20 years back. The best time was 20 years back, but the next best time is today. So start today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Those who are just listening, Mr. Farookh Sensei, a wonderful teacher. Actually, it's Sensei, Mr. Farookh Sensei. Sensei means, it's a Japanese word. It's a teacher. And you are a wonderful teacher. Let me repeat it. You are a wonderful sensei as well. So I hope and I pray and I wish that those who are listening and would be listening in future, there are so many things that you have shared in a very short period of time. If we're able to pick some daily life or regular life, I think we can be a true leader. And really, the leader is within. There is nothing, as you said, it does not require to have some designation. It does not require to purchase some mansion or some big houses or some big things to become a true leader and people follow. Rather, rightly you said, to inspire. If somebody is inspired by the actions, by the word, I think that is a true leadership. I wish and I dream for the world in coming days, in coming months, in coming years, in coming decades, that together we can create a true leaders around ourselves. By becoming a true leader of ourselves, by becoming a true version of ourselves, we do not need truly to compete with another person, to compete with another dignified leadership. We just need to compete within ourselves, that what really our heart and our mind says, what is there, what is the potential that we have, what really we can create out of our mind, out of our abilities, what potentials we have been bestowed upon by the Almighty, by the Creator, and what are we judging? Are we really giving a true judgment, a true value to what we have today? And that is what together I want to create. Together, we create for our generations that is coming in the next. That is the mission that let's together build the mission for our generations. Only that this legacy would be leaving behind. Those are watching right now, 100 years from now, none of them, there is a 1% possibility, would be remaining in this part of the world. 100 years from today, those are watching right now. You may not be here in 100 years from now, but your legacy, your work that you are creating, that we are creating, would be remaining in this world. And let us create that legacy out of our leadership journey. Let's dream for that we are leaving something behind for our generations. Thank you, Farookh Sensei. One last thought from you. That you look your world in next 20 years in this journey.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Like, what in the next 20 years, what do you see in this world that you are leaving behind out of your work?
Well, Out of my work, I would definitely like to see a lot of leaders behind me. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Leaders around me, around the world. And that's what I have already started. It's been started for the last 2 years now, creating leaders. And what I would say that it's called the 10x or multiplier, leadership multiplier, where leaders create leaders, not followers. Leaders create believers, not followers. Those who believe in themselves. That's what I would like to leave behind.
Thank you. That would be really wonderful. And I wish that there are thousands of leaders around you and your legacy led the world in next step forward. And together we can create a very wonderful place, living place. Let's build the world a wonderful place, not a
Inshallah.
not in any other terms. That's what I dream, and I cannot thank you enough, Farookh Sensei, and those who are watching right now. I'm greatly indebted to you, and I'm grateful to all of you. And let's build the nation as well. And with this journey, I invite all of you to also look for the Bangladesh, how this country is going forward. This country has tremendous amount of potentials, the people, the culture, the legacy, and where we're coming from and how we're coming from. It has a true potential to become the true leader of the world, the economic power in the next generations, the way the youth is coming up, the way the technical, the entire world is connected. I believe that this country has so many things to present all over the world. I invite all of you, those who are watching and will be watching, let's develop our leadership, your leadership, and then the world would look into you. Let's create the legacy. And thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm grateful to all of you. And I'm bringing another guest next time. Until then, please take care. Thank you, Mr. Farookh Sensei. I'm really grateful to you
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
time.
My honor, my pleasure. And thanks to everybody who's there.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.